And the mystery behind Coulson's return. Is this a mystery that will evolve over the course of the season or the show as a whole?
Yes.
Yes to
we will we want to tell that story. We don't want to tell it so slowly that people go crazy. So I think that people will be satisfied when they watch it. I don't think that
We're hoping that people will enjoy the journey to the answer.
Yes.
But so like the answer comes in a few episodes.
Oh, we're not.
You're getting all specific now.
Second episode.
Yeah.
No.
You said second episode.
No.
I heard second episode.
It's good point. It's it's up for grabs. We're in the process of creating this, so we want to make it as rewarding and as fun of a journey as possible. So we're not going to drag it out too long. We're not going to tell it too quickly.
Has there been a lot of architecture for you guys? You've obviously worked on a lot of Joss's shows, but this one is tied into a huge franchise. So obviously, you guys have been working on this for a while, setting up all of the foundation that you need. Has it been one of the more complicated shows, just in terms of having to figure out how to track so that you're not getting into space and then you reverse and vice versa?
We're definitely in communication with the cinematic universe and hoping to sort of supplement and complement each other. And we're also taking what has already been established in the comic universe and the movie universe, and we're just looking at it through a different lens. So though we exist in our own way that way, we're still very much related to what's already been established, what people hope to see, what people like to see.
And it is complicated. There's a lot of people and a lot of parties, gears moving, and
Lawyers and all that stuff.
so it is a moving target. But the Marvel universe is so rich and vast that it doesn't hold us back in any way. It's more just sort of setting ground rules and figuring out where within those we live. It's fun.
Joss likes to other shows has big bads for a full season, but then there's also the other side of nature and being able to pull in a lot of different characters. Have you found yet what you think the right mixture for this show is?
We're going to sort of operate in the same model.
Yeah.
We'll have our standalone episodes where we'll have our sort of challenge or something of the week, and then we will have little drops of mythology throughout that will then culminate to something at the end of the season, and maybe
it will.
Maybe or live on.
Right, and also the arcs will, our characters will be on journeys themselves. So even as we tell those individual stories, we'll be seeing them evolve regardless.
Yeah.
So.
What are people going to be most surprised or excited to see?
Iron Man? I'm just kidding. No, totally kidding.
I'm not sure.
I think Coulson being at the centerpiece of it. You've only seen glimpses of him in the movies. He's definitely served as the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Nick Fury and Hill, but he's just sort of the littler guy and the big, giant, S.H.I.E.L.D. But now we get to focus on him, and he's spearheading this team of young agents.
And that's sort of where our series lives, is with the little guy. It's a big focus for us. Is the films are all about a guy with a superpower, and our show is about a bunch of people who don't have one, and what that's like. You live in a world where there's gods and monsters, and we now know aliens exist, and what's it like to be a normal person in that world? And you sort of have to form a team in order to achieve some of the things that these people can do by snapping their fingers.
Could Maria Hill ever show up in the show?
Well, she has another show she's on. So, we're open to it. There are rules that we have to, but love to have her.
Do you think Fury and Maria Hill know about Coulson being alive, and how long is that a secret that can be kept? Because that was a big deal for the characters in the Avengers.
You can't say that.
Have other people answered these questions?
No, and if so, what did they say?
I gotta ask it.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
can't
no, I
reveal.
know, we can't
reveal.
So, since this show is so high profile, like not even considering the whole Marvel thing and all that stuff, and just the fact that this is so high profile, have you found yourselves, do you feel more pressure on
When people ask that question,
Yes.
we do, for sure.
Yes, we curl up in a ball in the corner of a room like Rocky or something. No, we're fine. No, but yes, there is the pressure, and we're just hopeful that the stories that we're creating that are, emotional and funny and
Action-packed.
action-packed, and everything that you see in the movies, we're trying to do in an episode.
You see uniqueness then, the human perspective within the Marvel world that really hasn't been built.
That's our goal, and that's sort of, not all heroes are super, is what we're saying. And we think that that's a great place to live. We think it's relatable. We think it'll bring people back. It also will make it so that you can tell a story every week because it's about people. It's not about the giant thing that happens because you'll get tired of that. We think that we'll be able to live, like you said, with emotion and humor and live with these characters in a relatable way that you don't see when you meet a guy who's a god.
Have a carte blanche to kind of pick and choose the minor characters in the Marvel books, or are you finding it's easier to maybe create new characters that might,
Our goal is to do a little bit of both.
It works both ways because we'll think of something and then ask,
exists.
does that exist?
Right.
So is there a person who does that exact thing? Or we'll work the other way, saying we could take this and make something great out of it. So it works both ways.
Is there a historian or a consultant in Marvel that sort of works with you
There are
guys?
so many.
There are many.
There's many people
People
working
from
on this
Marvel.
show.
Is it weird to have somebody over your shoulder like that?
We have many.
We
people
like,
around.
most of the people on our shoulders we like.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Thanks.
hey, how you doing, little buddy?
And now Joss Whedon shows have a very specific Joss Whedon kind of humor. Can we expect that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right. The answer is yes.
I like to just say it's Whedon humor,
Yeah.
personal.
Tancharoen.
Yeah. But yes, for sure. That's one of the things that we think makes the films so great. A huge action sequence is fun, and we talk a lot about the end of the Avengers. It's a huge action sequence, and when you walk away, it's thrilling. But when you walk away, you remember 4 key moments that are hilarious, or the team coming together.
Punching Thor out of frame.
Yeah, and those are the things you keep coming back to. So we feel like humor is the Marvel brand that we're really expanding.
How far along is the season right now? Have you shot anything?